Welcome back. All right, in this module, we're going to be talking about why flipping properties is so popular. There's a couple of reasons why, and I want to share them with you, and I want you to be aware on why every single one of them is so important, because some of these are going to be the reason on why you join the mentorship. And I want you to be aware of it because I want you to take advantage of every single one of these little things. Every single one of them matter a lot. We're going to be talking about the statistics of the average profit nationwide, on why this business is so lucrative, why so many people are trying to get involved in flipping properties, about the entrepreneurial opportunities which has completely changed my life. I became an entrepreneur thanks to flipping houses, and it has been wonderful. It's been a wonderful experience, and I know every single one of you who gets involved and start flipping your properties are going to be very, very happy and excited to become an entrepreneur this way. Real estate appreciation is something that you're going to be seeing more often now that you're getting involved in the business. Real estate appreciation is something that I want you to be aware. I want you to know about it because it's going to work for you in the future. Once you become known, once you get accustomed in knowing what appreciation is, it's going to completely change the whole game for you, especially if you're thinking of the long term. The flexibility to choose your own projects, it's one of the most powerful things because you can literally select the things that you want to do and the things that you don't want to do. You select the houses that fit the budget because there's a couple of deals that I want you to get from wholesalers, MLS, that when you're looking at them, it doesn't really make sense to you. So I want you to analyze them and you get to pick the ones that you want to work on. The ones you feel comfortable, it's going to be a great deal or it's going to be a bad deal or it's going to be a killing of a deal. Because I want you to look for those. The more you start doing this, the more you start to get familiar with the numbers, you're going to know what's going to be your niche. And I want you to go attack those deals. Okay? So that's one of the powerful things about becoming a real estate investor in flipping houses is that you get to pick your own projects. The skill development that you get from this is wonderful. You become a project manager. You start managing your own projects. You hire people to do the work for you, but you already know what you're looking for. You learn of the things that you want them to do, and then you're able to calculate how much is going to cost for each project to be fully rehabbed. It's a wonderful skill because now you start looking at properties, and when you look at them, you're thinking of the value that you're going to get out once the property is fully rehabbed. And it's a wonderful skill for you to have and develop. The more you start analyzing deals, the more this tool, this skill is going to be sharpened. Market and demand. We're going to be talking about a lot of market and demand in the course because with the market, thanks to the market, you're going to be able to define which places is going to be more beneficial for you to invest in, and then which places is going to be more beneficial to do a different strategy. This is a wonderful thing because thanks to market and demand, you're going to be able to calculate your profits as well. You're going to be able to see what's going on in the area, what's happening in the area, what things you can buy, what things you cannot buy, and so on. So market and demand is going to be extremely powerful as well. Economic growth is another reason why flipping properties is so popular. Literally, when you make an investment in a property and more people are doing it on the side next to you, next to the neighborhood, it's bringing the economy higher. When there's a lot of volume of people moving into houses, is because there's a lot of wealth going on in the area. So it brings the growth, it brings the economy locally and also depending on the area that you're going to be investing. So this is extremely important. And this is one of the reasons why it's so popular because the more properties that are being rehabbed, it's making better for the neighborhoods. I mean, you're changing a lot of things here. Job opportunities is another reason why flipping properties is so popular. The more jobs you take on, the more projects you bring, the more opportunities you're going to be providing for other people. We'll get into detail on why this matters so much, and you're going to be able to realize how powerful flipping properties is. Wealth creation is another great thing that you can do because the more you start doing, the more capital you're going to be able to make, and then you're going to start thinking about different strategies. A lot of opportunities open up when a person starts investing. A lot of things that you start to learn, a lot of things that you want to learn because now you find out that there's different ways for you to be able to invest and think on the long term, on the long run. So wealth creation is another great thing, another great reason why flipping properties is so popular. It opens up even more opportunities for you to be able to invest as well. Low entry levels. Low entry levels. Low entry levels. It's another reason why it's so popular. This is probably one of the biggest reasons. There's a lot of people that don't go to school because they can't or they don't want to. There's a lot of people who don't go to college because they can't or they don't want to. Or there's actually people who have dropped off from college as well. Now, the thing about investing in flipping houses is that all you need is the knowledge. All you need is the how. You need to know how to do it. That's all you need. And anybody with that tool, knowing how to do it, knowing how to flip properties, knowing how to analyze them, is going to be able to make profits in flipping properties. And again, this is one of the reasons why it's so popular. We're going to get into details, and I'm going to explain every single one of these so that you are aware of them. I want you to be aware of it, because now that you have jumped in the wagon, you're going to be able to analyze every single one of these reasons and make better choices, better decisions, feel excited, motivated about the deals that you take on. Because there's a lot of deals, there's a lot of opportunities that a lot of people are missing out, and you have to take advantage of that situation. You have to take advantage that you're going to be one of the few people who have invested in yourself, and you're going to be able to make profits based on the decisions you're going to be making with the right knowledge. So let's keep going. Let's talk about the average profits. In the US, the average profit for flipping one single house, it's about $66,000. We're talking about a whole lot of money, because the national income in the US is $30,000 alone. Now in Florida, where I live, the median household income is $61,000. So this is where you see a lot of opportunities, because when you flip one single property, you're already making way over what some people are making in the whole nation, just one person alone. Now, the average investors flip about 3 to 4 houses a year. So we're talking about profits that could surpass $200,000 in a single year. Now, there's a lot more investors doing even more houses, because they have systems in place, they have teams in place. I mean, there's a lot of things that they have to be able to scale. So you're literally able to increase your own profits even more. It's crazy that when you become an investor, you can make more than the person that has gone to school. And you need to know this information, because when you know the average profits, you start to realize how possible or how big the possibilities of you making even more money than what you had in mind originally is doable. So this is a great opportunity, but you have to know this information. It's important that you know. We're going to be talking about how you're going to calculate those numbers. Again, we're just going over the information for you to be able to apply it and know with the purpose why flipping properties is such a great business, why it's so popular. Another reason why flipping properties is so popular is because of the entrepreneurial opportunities that you're going to be able to get. This is going to allow you to become your own boss, to manage your own time, and to accomplish your goals. Now, there's a lot of things involved here. When you become a real estate investor, and then especially you go into the full-time real estate investor, you start to look for different opportunities for growth. You start to look for different ways that you can make more money by becoming a full-time real estate investor. And in order for this to happen, you're going to have a specific goal in mind of how many properties you want to flip the first year or the second year. When you start doing those projects and you start having teams to do those projects in your behalf, then you start to outsourcing yourself, going to different events, going to networking events, meeting more people, growing yourself, because you're your own boss, you're your own manager. You manage your own time. And this allows you to be able to scale your business as much as possible. When you're looking for growth, that's exactly what you're going to get. Now that you know about this, about the entrepreneurial opportunities, you have to take advantage of it. You have to take advantage of it. Because by applying everything that I'm teaching you in this course, trust me, you're going to be able to succeed. You're going to be able to succeed because you will know and you will be aware of what you need to do once you get to the second level. The first level is finding your first property. And then you get the second property. And then you start looking for different systems that you can implement in order for you to make even more money. But you have to keep doing it. You have to apply it for you to make it happen. And the entrepreneurial opportunities that flipping houses brings are tremendous, are huge. There's hardly ever any different type of businesses that are going to provide the opportunity for you to be able to grow the way that you can grow by becoming a real estate investor. Real estate appreciation is one of the main things that attracted me when I started investing. And the reason why is over time, real estate goes up in value. Yeah, sometimes it goes up, it goes down, but like back in 2008. But again, it goes back like it goes up. But again, it goes back up like in 2015, 16, 17, 18, and so on. From 2018 to this year now, to 2023, properties have literally gone up in Florida over $100,000 in value. So there's a lot of people who bought their homes back in 2018, 17 for a cheaper price. They held the property because they were living on there, or maybe they were just renting those properties, and literally have sold their properties and made over $100,000 in just that alone. Now, think about it this way. For those people who were living in their properties, and they sold it for over $100,000, and yeah, they made a lot of money. They were living in the property. Now, for those people who bought them as rentals and had passive income and still sold their property and made over $100,000 in profits, now we're talking about even much more profits because there's a lot of growth. There's a lot of money that we're talking about. So again, real estate appreciation is one of the most powerful things in real estate that a lot of people start to understand once they get involved. Because if you are trying to change your strategy, maybe you want to buy and hold for a very long time, you just want to buy rentals, you buy properties that you can rent for a couple of years, you're making more money. You're making money on your passives, and you're going to be making money on once you sell the property. Another thing about real estate appreciation is that it's an actual physical asset. It's a tangible. It's literally land. It's bricks. It's something that you can see. It's not like in the stock market. Yeah, a lot of people make a lot of money in the stock market, but they're literally trading paper. They're thinking that their value, their thing that is not tangible, that they can't feel, they can't touch, is going to go over value, and they have this faith that is going to go up and they're going to make a lot of money. But when it comes to real estate, you have an address, you have a physical address that you can visit, that you can maintain, that you can see every single time you want to go see it, touch it, whatever you want to do. And that is something that nobody can take away from you. So when you're buying a real estate asset and it's a physical asset and it goes up in value, how better can it get? Crypto is not the same. Stock is not the same. Paper is not the same. But the real estate is unique. It's physical. It has a parcel ID. It has an address. It has a number. I mean, literally, there's so many great benefits about real estate appreciation and just real estate that is physical, it's tangible, that nobody can take away from. That's why real estate is so popular. That's why so many people want to get involved into real estate, because they know that whenever they invest their money in something, they see it. It's on there. It's there. Wherever it is, no matter where they invest, the money, it's literally there. They can look at it. And that's one of the reasons why it's so popular. This is why so many people want to get involved in real estate investing. That's the reason why I got involved in real estate investing, because it's tangible. Let's talk about the flexibility to choose your own projects. This is a powerful thing about real estate investing, because you pick how much money you want to make. You pick your own risk, your calculator risk. It's something that you're going to be able to learn over time. You're going to be able to select your own projects because you're seeing things that other people are not seeing. Or maybe you were able to get a deal that has such good equity, such good cushion of money that you're going to be able to make, and so little that you have to invest that it's a no-brainer. There's different things that you're going to be able to do here. There's a lot of different strategies that you're going to be able to implement in order to make money in every single deal. And this is the reason why it's so popular as well, because you can pick those projects. It's not like you have to do it. No. Say no to those projects that seems to be so bad, that they only say that you can make $20,000 in profits. Say no to those. And say yes to the ones that are going to make over 50, 60, 70, even $100,000 of profit in one deal alone. Say no to the bad deals, say yes to the good deals. This is powerful because you get to choose what you want to do. You get to pick your own projects. You get to manage your own projects and make the decisions that you want to make and how much money you want to make. You get to pick this. There's no other thing, there's no other different type of business where you can actually get to pick how much money you get to make. Only you do. And it's powerful. There's so many reasons why this is so popular, but this is one of my favorites because I picked my own projects in the past. I picked a lot of the projects that I made. As a matter of fact, every single project that I've done is a project that I selected. And there's a lot of projects that I missed out on because I did not see the opportunities. I could not see the numbers. It did not make sense for me. And I was able to say no to a few projects that some other people took upon on and probably didn't make any money because there were just no numbers there. Here you get to pick. You get to select the risk and you minimize it. The skill development that you get from real estate investing, from becoming a flipper, and why it's so popular is because you're going to be able to learn and implement a lot of things that you probably never have done in the past. Becoming a market analysis is one of them. Why? Because you have to study the market. You have to study the local area to be able to buy a property that you're looking at. If the market seems to be in a low trend, let's say not a lot of people are moving in because crime rates are higher and people just don't want to buy there, they don't want to move in, but you see that there's a lot of rentals there, a lot of renting opportunities, you're literally analyzing your market. You're studying the market so that you make the best options, so you make the better, so you make the right purchases. And becoming a market analysis, it just comes naturally when you start to review your own market, when you start to study your local market. Some people, when they get started, their area is so bad because of the conditions they currently live in, that they are looking for different deals in a completely different city from where they're at. And that's completely fine. A lot of people have to do it that way. But some people live in such good areas that all they have to do is just look at their local market, analyze their market. They're looking at their trends to be able to invest, buy properties, rehab properties, and sell the properties. They don't even worry about renting those properties, and they just make a lot of money. But again, this is all because of acquiring the skill of learning how to flip houses, how to study that market to make sure that you're buying a really good deal that makes sense for you. And this is one of the skills that can you study? Yes, probably. But this is something that you're going to learn on your own because you're minimizing your own risk. You're selecting the risk. Another great skill, it's communication. You probably have had communication skills in the past from high school and so on, different classes, different courses that you may have taken. But when it comes to communication that you really want to do because you want to meet people who are going to give you money, you want to meet people who are going to sell their houses to you, you want to talk to people who are going to give you funding, and so on. There's different things here, but communication is going to be one of the skills that you're going to develop naturally because you're negotiating, you're talking to people, you're convincing people to give you a good deal, and you're telling them why it's such a good deal for them, or why this property is worth this much and why you're willing to give them this amount of money because it makes sense for you and it makes sense for them. So you become a natural communicator. You get your message through by listening to other people. You become a good listener too, as a matter of fact. So one thing that you're going to be able to learn in this business is that you have to listen more than what you actually communicate with other people. You become a real communicator by listening to a lot of people, by listening to what they're saying, by listening to their needs so that you can actually come in, knock on the door and say, hey, I got a solution for your needs. And this is what we can do together. Do you like it? Of course they're going to say yes. Of course they're going to like it because you have brought a solution for them and you make it happen that way. So you become a great communicator by listening to a lot of people, listening to their things, listening to your sellers, listening to your realtors because you want to listen to them. You want to see what they're going to tell you, if they're going to find you projects or if you want them to sell your projects. You have to listen to them and you have to communicate with them the things that you want and the things that you can solve for them. So this is a great skill. Communication is probably one of the ones that I like the most out of the whole thing, and it just comes naturally when you start negotiating. It just becomes part of you. Rehab estimator, it's wonderful because the more projects that you start doing, The more properties that you walk, then you start to realize and you start to understand that you're going to be able to spend this amount of money just by looking at the properties. Oh, I'm looking at the windows, they look kind of old, I'm probably going to have to replace them. Or you know what, the windows are pretty old, but they seem in really good shape, so I'm not going to spend money on that because it's going to cost $250 per window, right? Depends on the window. Or maybe the doors, you know what, these doors, they're in really good condition, they're a little old, but we're just going to paint them. Or maybe we're going to replace all the doors because they're in such bad shape. So you start to become familiar with how much every material is worth, the doors, the windows, the flooring, bathrooms, kitchen, by consistently doing flips. You are able to become naturally to be able to learn how much money you're going to be able to spend. Yeah, you still want to do the math, you still want to calculate, you still want to make sure that you have everything so that you never go over your budget. But either way, you get this instant of when you look at a property, you automatically are going to understand how much money is going to require for the property to be rehabbed. And it's just a skill. It's a skill that you develop by repeating the process over and over and over again. I'm a pretty good rehab estimator. I walk into the properties and I know exactly how much money I'm going to spend in this property. I'm looking at the floor, I'm looking at the kitchen, bathrooms, the roof, the AC, and I automatically know how much money I'm going to be able to spend. And I go by the worst case scenario. Always go by the worst case scenario. Why? Because you want to make sure that you're always under it. You want to make sure that you have analyzed the whole property, walked the whole property, and always think of the worst case scenario. Always think that you're going to do a full rehab on the property because you don't know what you're going to find. And this is also going to help you. So you become a rehabber by understanding the numbers and walking the properties over and over and over again by repeating the process every single time. You're going to find yourself going to Home Depot more often than not. Probably as many times as you don't want to go. But you're going to be able to understand how much everything is going to be worth. And you're going to learn every single time you go, you learn different things. So this is a wonderful skill that you're going to be able to acquire for you to understand how much money you actually have to spend on each property. Project manager. Project manager is probably one of the things you never thought of becoming, and that's because you're managing your own project. When becoming a project manager, the only thing that you have to do is you just have to make sure everybody's doing their job. If you hire a contractor and you had an agreement of the things that they needed to do, let's say the roof, let's say the AC, let's say everything in the house, and then you're asking them questions. Okay, so what's the process so far? How much have you done? What have you invested on? What are we waiting for? What's the next step? And so on. You become a manager of your own project. You're managing. You're making sure that they're doing the work that they're supposed to be doing and that they finish it by the time they told you it's going to take. Because that's another thing. You ask them, okay, let me know, how long is this going to take? When are you going to be finished by? I need to know. I need it in writing as well. And then you're managing that. You're making sure that everybody's doing their work on a timely manner and that they return the work to you fulfilled by the time that it was supposed to be completed. So you become a project manager. And you acquire the skill by just, again, repeating the process, doing it over and over and over again. That's the only way that you're truly going to be able to get the most out of it. I'm telling you what you're going to be able to learn, but you have to do it. You have to be living the experience for you to be able to understand. And becoming aware of everything that I'm telling you is going to be even more impactful because you're going to be able to understand that you can repeat the process and always paying attention to every single little detail that you're going to be able to maximize. Market and demand. This is one of the other reasons why flipping properties is so popular, why so many people want to get involved in it. There's so many millennials that are trying to buy their first time house because now they're getting married, they're having children. So there's millions of them trying to look for their first home. And that's the demand. A lot of people are having their own families nowadays, right? I mean, it's always happening, but millennials is one of the biggest generations. So a lot of people are trying to buy houses every single time, every single year. From now on, there's going to be a lot of people just looking for houses for them to buy. And this is the demand. Everywhere you go, there's people trying to move in to be able to buy a house. Of course, you have to identify the market. You have to make sure the market It's appealing. It's a growing market where there's a lot of jobs coming in, and a lot of millennials are moving in because there's a lot of job opportunities. And again, market and demand, because a lot of people want to buy their first time house, and they're trying to buy properties that are ready for you to move in ready properties, because they have their families. They don't know how to do an investment, so they're not thinking about the investment. They're thinking of moving in, just buying a property and just be able to move in the next day or within the next couple of days. And this is the reason why it's popular. A lot of people know that there's so much opportunities in flipping houses that they want to get involved as soon as possible. They want to start right away. Now that you've done it, you need to understand that there's a reason why, and the reason why it's popular is because there's a lot of demand, depending on where you go. There's a lot of city developments that are urging people to move in because there's so much growth in that area that they want people just to keep dropping in. By people moving into cities, by people coming into areas, it's going to grow the development, the economy of the area. And it's a positive thing. It's a very, very positive thing. You see a lot of people moving to Florida. You see a lot of people moving to Tennessee. You see some people moving to some parts of Ohio. Market and demand. It's extremely important for you to understand that. Because wherever you're going to invest, if you're going to be investing in a place where there's a lot of demand, and you study the market, you review the market, then guess what? You're going to be very profitable. You're going to be very, very profitable by repeating the process where houses are being wanted and needed, because a lot of people are moving in. So be aware of that. Be attentive of that. We were talking about the economic growth. It contributes to the local community by improving the neighborhoods. When you buy a house and you flip the property in a good market and where there's high demand, guess what? Houses in the area are going to go up in price even though they haven't been rehabbed. But now it will be your opportunity to buy even more houses in that neighborhood. One of the neighborhoods that I used to live in when I started investing, I bought 3 properties in total in that same neighborhood. And every single time I sold one of those properties, the other one went up in value, even though I haven't even purchased them yet. So marketing demand, economic growth, they all come along. They all come together. This is a great opportunity for investing. It's a great opportunity because you're creating a positive impact in the local area. Increasing the properties in value has a positive impact because a lot of people want to move into specific areas where they can afford at that time, in that moment. And a couple of years down the line, it becomes such a trend that all of those houses in that neighborhood, or most of those houses in that neighborhood, become rehabbed, and it becomes a really good neighborhood. So it has a So it has a very positive outcome of buying properties in specific local areas. It brings more money to the local area. It brings more money to the city. It brings people to the city. So it's a very positive outcome. And people want that. Cities want that. They want investors to be flipping their properties that they purchase to bring more revenue and to bring more people into the city. So this is another reason why it's so popular. Again, everything that I'm telling you here in this module is all compressed together on why flipping properties is such a good, profitable business to be in. On why you need to learn the skills to be able to buy your flips. But again, some people, when I started, I was not aware of any of this information. I just went along. I just wanted to learn day by day. I paid other people to teach me a couple different things, but I never got the right knowledge. And now I'm giving you all the knowledge so that you are aware that you can make a lot of money depending on where you're going to invest, and also the positive outcomes that you're going to bring to the neighborhood, to the local neighborhoods. You're going to have more opportunities when that happens. One of the good things about why real estate investing is so popular is because you provide a lot of opportunities for different people who work in different fields. You're going to need a carpenters, if you want to change the design of the property, if you want to change the design of how the property looks like in the living room, or maybe on the outside, the deck, whatever you want to change, you need a carpenter. You need someone who has skills to be able to do that for you. Same thing with plumbers. Let's say that you bought a property that needs a full rehab, including the plumbing. then that's exactly what you need to get. You need to get a plumber because that's one of the first things you need to work on. You need somebody to fix the plumbing to make sure that there's water running throughout the house without any leaks, because that's one of the toughest jobs as well. So you want to make sure that you get the people with the right skills, and you're providing a job opportunity by them helping you and you helping them feed their family because they're making money. You're paying for their services. I don't want you to be doing all this job. I want you to find someone who's going to be able to do the job for you. Roofers. Let's say you found a property that the roof was maybe 30 years plus old, never replaced, so it's leaking. You're gonna need a roofer. You're gonna need somebody who has a license, replaces the roof, and then so that you can sell the property afterwards. And it's gonna be different scenarios every single time. You might need somebody who has different skills, has different skill set. So you bring and you bring them to one job site so that you're maybe gonna have multiple people doing different jobs for you. Not exactly one person doing all the work, but multiple teams, different people in their own different careers. Painters. Every single flip that you do, every single house that you are going to flip, you're gonna need a paint job. Either on the inside, on the outside, on both. You need painters. I don't want you to be doing this job. I want you to provide the opportunity, which is why you calculated how much it's gonna cost in the first place. If you can have somebody else do the job for you while you're looking for different properties, it's a win-win situation. Somebody is replacing you. So you're providing a job opportunity while you're providing yourself opportunities to look for different deals. So this is great and very beneficial. And this is another reason why flipping properties is so popular. And of course, contractors, right? You want people who are going to be able to help you the best way possible. And it's most likely going to be a contractor, especially when you're looking for full fixer-uppers that needs a full rehab. You want those people, they already have the contacts for you. Of course, you want to talk to them, you want to get to know them, but they are the right person. They're the best person that you can speak to is going to be a contractor. And this is another reason why flipping properties is so popular, because you can literally leverage the job to somebody else so that they can help you do the job in your behalf, and you provide money for their services, and they're providing with those services that they made for you, they're providing money to their families. And it goes on. The cycle continues. So you want to provide these opportunities, and you want to make sure that you calculate for them, of course, right? To make sure that you're getting enough money to be able to do this. But that's how you do it. And here's another reason why flipping properties is so popular. Why so many people want to do it. It's great. It's a great benefit for you and those who are going to be working with you. Wealth creation is one of my most favorite reasons on why flipping properties is so popular. Look, a lot of people want to get started into real estate. One of the best ways for you to get started in flipping properties is by literally becoming an investor, by actually getting your own properties and be able to flip in those properties and making profits out of those properties. And when you start doing this, you start thinking, okay, how am I going to create wealth for me and my family? What exactly is going to be the plan for me to make more money and bring more money to my family so that I can provide for them in the long term, in the long run? So you start thinking about, maybe I want to do more rentals. I want to get more properties so that I can rent them, and I want to get a few fixer-uppers so that I can sell them, collect capital, and buy more rentals. You can do whatever you want to do. You can do long-term rentals, which is you just get a tenant, do a 12-month lease, or maybe you get Airbnbs. You start doing Airbnbs or short-term rentals. You start managing your own project however you want to do it, so that you know that you're going to make the most money, so that you know you're going to be able to implement different strategies for you to create more money. And how are you going to do that? By leveraging different ideas and buying fixer-uppers so that you can sell those properties and make profits. Then you start changing the perspectives of the things that you want to do in order to create and achieve those goals. So for instance, you want to start doing more flips every single year. So you start making more capital. You start gaining more money in order to acquire those rentals that I was telling you about. Or maybe you start to focus into multifamily. That means you get more capital because you need capital for multifamily. You get more capital by doing more fixer-uppers, by doing more flips, and then you start implementing those things into your personal life so that you can create wealth. This is one of the most and biggest reasons why real estate flipping is so popular. Because people want to create wealth. They want to get out of that rat race. They don't want to go through poverty. They don't want to be in the middle class. They want to succeed. You want to succeed. That's the reason why you're here. You want to create wealth. How do you create wealth? By doing different strategies, but everything starts now. It starts with your first flip. Knowledge equals power. Knowledge equals power. The more you know, the more you start implementing, the more likely you're going to succeed. The more you start implementing everything that I'm going to be teaching you, and then you start doing absolutely every single step of the way and be aware of everything that I'm guiding you through, you're going to become successful. And by becoming successful, you're going to create wealth. You're going to create opportunities for yourself, for your family. This is the reason why real estate investing is so popular. Why so many people want to do real estate. Why so many people want to get involved in creating these opportunities for themselves. Flipping property has changed my life. Flipping properties can also change yours. And here are the multiple reasons why it's so popular. One of my favorite things is the low entry levels. I mean, it requires for you to have no school degrees, no college degrees, no certifications for you to become an investor. And this is tremendous because a lot of people who spend many, many years in school, I spent 2 years in college to get my associate's degree just to make $67,000 a year. And with one flip, I met a lot of people who didn't even go to college at all, and they're doing 4 flips a year, which is insane. As a matter of fact, I know another guy who's making 10 flips a single year, even more than that. And he didn't even finish high school. No matter where you are at, it does not matter in the nation where you're at. As long as you get the right education and you start learning and implementing the things that I'm going to be teaching you in this course, you're going to be successful. And the other thing is, it's truly not complicated. It's so simple. Once you start doing it on your own, you're going to be able to learn. You're probably going to be a little bit confused. You're probably going to feel a little nervous. It's fine. I felt that. I was there. I was in your shoes, in your situation. But once you do the first flip, you're going to be like, wow, what was this? And I just got a big check for doing this, for managing my own project or managing someone else's project because I found the deal and I brought my investor. Again, it does not require a lot. You just have to do the process, repeat the process. And the best thing is that you just have to educate yourself. That's all. You're just learning a new skill on your own. That is all. And this is one of the reasons why flipping properties is so popular. Why so many people get involved. This is another reason why you see so many successful stories about people who didn't even finish high school and they're making a killing in flipping properties. It's because of that. It's because of the low entry levels. It's because it just requires for you to learn and implement everything that you're going to be learning.